What's up, guys? Saturday, 13 days out of USA's. We are doing some day in the life stuff. I've had some requests to take a look into my rather monotonous, boring life, especially this deep into a contest season. So, um, Dawn here, she has been doing my body work for a few weeks now. She uses a variety of technologies, which she'll talk about. Um, the final details for bringing your best package involve a lot more than just training and eating. So, putting on the final touches, making sure everything's good to go. So we are at the Pro Method in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm very grateful to have Dawn helping me out for USA's and then into my off season and next season. So we're going to kind of give you some insight on what a typical session looks like. Her working with me and then her overall, and she'll give you some pointers on how you can improve your body work and what she does exactly.
You know what I mean? They should be able to come around more, but it's actually, can you feel this stuff? It's rolling in here. That's where I'm loosening that up today too. Okay, so what I'm gonna start with is, I'm gonna actually pad your adductors. I'm gonna pad your adductors with the new fit because we're having some pulling for sure on both adductors that's going all the way up into your lower ab. So like right into that TFL area, like you have a juncture right here where that's just all kind of pulling. So I'm gonna pad here and pad here. And I'm gonna let the current run through there and relax that while I work on your traps and that bicep tendon and under your lats. And then I'm gonna address that area with the Electrons Plus. However, you have one part on that left lat that's just kind of pulling, and it's just taking away from your shape a tiny bit, and there's a little bit of atrophy in that lower lat, like upper back. And I'm not sure if it's lower lat, upper back, but again, that's where that psoas is gonna come through, but that's what's gonna prevent that turn too. So something in this area has to be adjusted, and so close it's either the psoas or that abdominal area. But then we're gonna do that after. But it's pulling from front to back. Can you kind of feel that on that one lat?
Even in a pull down, because the side almost wants to go.
Yes.
And then when I pull down, it puts it more into the bicep versus the lat.
Yeah, and so you're firing all the way down to here, and this one you're firing here, but then it slightly atrophies just a tiny bit here, and it just takes away from that line and that shape, which is there. It's just atrophy. So I will have you start on your back. Hi, my name's Dawn Nasta. I am the creator and owner of the Pro Method. I'm here working on one of my clients who's getting ready to make his appearance at the USA's. I have a prep protocol that I've designed that seems to work pretty well, and I'm excited to be able to utilize it on an athlete of this level and going to such a prominent show. My method incorporates a few different modalities, one being a guided PEMF, which I'm utilizing now. Basically, the current runs through me to the client, and it allows me to release some of the tendons and muscles in areas that normally require a significant amount of force in order to release. What I've discovered in my experience is that when we do apply that significant amount of physical pressure in order to get a release, that if it does release, that release is temporary because the body may recognize it as trauma and additional injury. So while I was competing, I noticed that I would have these adjustments made, but then when I came back 3 or 4 days later to have the same adjustment, I wasn't seeing any results. So my theory is that because this isn't applied pressure and the body is more or less vibrating, we're all frequency and we're all water, so we're already introducing things that are natural and biological to the body, and the vibration isn't a significant pressure, so the body is more receptive and the body allows those openings to just occur that much better. The PEMF itself actually elicits a response wherever the current is directed. So we'll be approaching 3 different areas where there is functional, extremely healthy tissue, which will just respond when we go over it, like a healthy muscle, as you see here in his chest. We're just seeing those muscles normally fire and everything is working as it should. Then we're going to get to an area where some things are very congested and tight and they started to protect and guard. An area typical for someone of his extreme lean muscle capabilities and training intensity is we would get some of the bicep tendons, some of the lats, some of the tricep tendon, a lot of these areas where there are multiple junctions that are hypertonic and they need to be released. When you have a muscle like this that is hypertonic, it is taking that energy away from something else. So our process is twofold. We're trying to get those areas that are requiring too much tension and energy to release so we can move them to those areas that are atrophied. From the original assessment we did today on, excuse me, on Tommy when he came in, that atrophy is actually in this lower lat and upper back area. Again, that's not completely unheard of because of the amount of weight and intensity that he's using to develop his back. I've been in biological medicine for almost 2 decades. I started out in digestive health and in hydrotherapy with a focus on colon hydrotherapy, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's cleaning out the large intestine. And from there, I actually started doing a lot of research into gut-brain health and gut-brain longevity and gut-brain mental health. So my daughter was a competitive cheerleader from the time she was 8 until she finished high school. And her senior year, she was dropped and had a really bad TBI. And so I started going to some of these neuro conferences to find ways that we could kind of help her body heal from that brain injury and how it was affecting her. And after looking into some of the other capabilities of the NewFit newbie and how it operated on a recovery and performance basis, I started to apply it in my own hobby, which was competitive bodybuilding at that time. So it was really interesting to see how this technology could be applied in so many different ways and maximize the results and accelerate the healing as much as possible. And in my last office, I worked with one of the leading performance doctors in the nation. And he introduced me to this technology because he was an advisor on the board of its development. So I applied the two together and noticed what significant results that they acquired when combined with one another. And it seemed to be optimal timing because in 2020, when everything shut down, I was able to adhere to specific standards and still see people who had a wide array of issues and got to notice like the different patterns and different protocols we can do to release some of these common injuries that are debilitating people from doing the things that they love or perfecting and optimizing the things they love. Bodybuilders, the goal with any bodybuilder in any division is going to be to widen your V-taper, right? You want your shoulder to waist ratio to be as grand as possible. So what I notice, especially with the psoas being too tightened and the subscap being too tight, it can lessen a lot of the width in the upper body. So just by allowing the shoulders to relax enough to get away from the shoulders, that allows enough width there. And then once the psoas is tightened and is no longer causing the kyphotic movement in the shoulders and you can get wide, that can add a significant amount of wealth on bodybuilders. Secondarily, it would be the psoas tightening in the lower body, which can often cause a rotation in the pelvis that will put a lot of pressure on the quads and can make them fatigue too quick. But more importantly, it atrophies the upper glute or components of the glute. The glute development is especially important in many divisions. There are some that won't actually judge that, but especially in Tommy's division, they're going to be looking at glute separation, glute development. And if your psoas is too tight, you just won't be able to get symmetrical balance or even, necessary growth in some of those areas. The most challenging thing is monitoring my own health and wellness, because since the current does run through me and I've had a history of having low sodium in the blood, I have to stay on top of that. So that's also something that I educate on a lot, which is hydration, and hydration not just being how much fluid we take in, but our retention of water. And that requires us to have a certain amount of sodium in our bloodstream. So that's the one thing that I have to pay attention to, is making sure that I have enough minerals and hydration, so I'm a good conduit for the energy and I can provide them the results they need while not taxing my system too much. Better. Do you see a difference? Can you notice a difference? Since you tree diet. Good, relax. Good. We still have a tiny asymmetry right here, but it pulled out a lot in your back lat spread. You almost can't see it all. It's starting to pull, but it's because you're fatigued. Because it's like doing so much work. I'm excited to see how it looks tomorrow, just because I mean we're making you, you know, your muscles are firing, your sweat, you know what I mean? Like things are going on. It looks really, really good.
Today's bodywork session. So Pro Method, Don Nasta, South Scottsdale, Arizona. We'll have the details in the box below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Give me more day in the life ideas. Obviously this last bit of prep, it's not too exciting, but what do you guys want to see in the off season? Because that's 13 days from when we're recording this, that all starts. So we're gonna make KJ eat sushi. He's not into it, but that'll definitely be on the docket. Some more food, some prepping stuff with cooking, how I do my meal prep and all that stuff. Whatever you guys need to help you, drop in the comments below. Until next time, we're out.